Hey, little ditty, shout out.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a special edition broadcast of The Lifeboat and Legal Livewire. I have a court hearing we're going to show today that just happened today. And rather than edit it and juice it up and do all the great things, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about in a courtroom spectacle that can only be described as an exercise in patience for the judge and a masterclass in self-sabotage for the defendant. Daniel continues to test the limits of the legal system with his incoherent legal arguments and refusal to follow basic courtroom decorum. The defendant, charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer, has chosen to represent himself, a decision that has already proven disastrous. Despite multiple warnings from the judge about a great peril of self-representation, Daniel insists on playing a semantical game of cat and mouse, refusing to acknowledge even the most basic legal principles. His attempts to suppress charges, question discovery, and file motions without proper notice have been met with sharp judicial rebukes, yet he persists in wasting the court's time with nonsensical filings and baseless accusations. The judge, Judge Simpson, clearly fed up, has admonished Daniel for his frivolous motions, his smirking demeanor, and his apparent belief that stringing together legal sounding words constitutes a valid defense. After repeated interruptions and failure to engage in a meaningful discussion about his case, the court had no choice but to adjourn his hearing. Now, with a preliminary examination that was scheduled for today, it remains to be seen whether Daniel will finally take the process seriously or continue down a path that could lead to harsher consequences. One thing is certain: this is not a game, and the court is running out of patience. Well, here we go, guys. Here is that hearing. I just didn't want you guys to watch me reading. That's why I had my camera off. But here's the hearing. And I'm going to be hanging out with you.
Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan is back in session. The Honorable Judge Simpson presides.
I hope my statement wasn't convoluted. I had to write it pretty fast. You guys are going to really enjoy this jack wagon.
Call the case of the people versus Daniel Field.
Echelon for people.
State your name, sir. All right, Mr. Magoo. As with every proceeding, I do have to advise you that you are before the court on a charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. As we have been through it before, I'm not going to ask you to acknowledge any of this. I think that you understand what I am indicating. That is a felony punishable by up to 2 years incarceration, $2,000 fine plus court costs.
You guys are going to love this.
You have elected to represent yourself in this matter. There are indeed perils with representing yourself.
Thanks, Sherry.
I will also advise you that you are held to the same standards as anyone else conducting a proceeding before this court, whether it be with regard to evidence, the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure, and the like. And court is not going to show you any favoritism. I'm not going to treat you better or worse than either side. He's
going to treat you worse.
You elected to represent yourself. If at any time you wish to be represented by an attorney, could not afford to hire one, you have to inform the court of that. The court will assure that you will have counsel.
I'll be 2 seconds, guys.
Are the people? Yes, sir.
Just, Your Honor, for the record, I'm here. I'm not here on a general appearance. I'm here as making a special appearance. I do not, nor have I ever consented to the personal jurisdiction matter of the court. I'm here to specifically cross-examine my accusers. And with that being said,
Well, let me just put it to you this way. This court has jurisdiction over you as a person. I also have jurisdiction over the subject matter of these proceedings.
I'm back.
So while you may disagree, I think your position is legally insufficient.
All right, I just wanted to notify.
Your position is legally insufficient and irrelevant to anything that we have to do right now. Am I clear? Thank you. Are the people ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Because
This hearing happened
opening, I will
today.
call
It just
Officer-
ended, but I recorded it.
I don't waive opening, with what consent? What was that? You said with my consent, I didn't consent. What was that? I just asked some clarification.
You're not required to give an opening at preliminary examination, but if you'd like to, Ms. Lundy.
I did
He
not
wants to
choose
do an
give
opening.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, let me call your first witness.
Darnell Tyson.
Okay, real quick. So this guy's he's a douche, man. But this hearing was over 2 hours long, but I have this software that I can automatically adjust what kind of silence detection it is, or it can be background noise, or I can get rid of background. So what I did is I took out all the dead air and the silent sections, and it automatically will combine itself. And it literally took off, like say if the judge is reading something and not saying anything, no one saying anything, it'll take all that out. So if you see little skips, like say the judge is looking like that, how he is now, but then it skips and he's like turned the other way, or if he's moved, that's the reason why I took out all the silence of it. So it's a more succinct hearing. Okay. Took me a second to think of that word.
Sir, please come forward to be sworn.
Your Honor, Michigan Rule of Evidence 615, I am at my request to ask the other officers that will be giving testimony against me. I asked that they leave the room.
Are you making a motion to sequester?
Yes.
In your response from the people?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Witnesses that will testify are hereby ordered sequestered. Thank you.
I wasn't clear on what rule that was cited, but
Wasn't,
thank you.
but I got what he was getting at.
You sound to part of the testimony about be able to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so God. So. State spell your first and last name for the record.
Darnell Tyson, DARNELLTY.
Thank you. You may inquire.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. How are you employed?
Defendant Police Department.
And how long have you been employed in that position?
Since April of 20, well, once we passed, I've been on the road since April of last year.
April of 24? In what capacity are you employed by the Ypsilanti Police Department? A police officer? Were you working on October 11th, 2024? What shift were you on that day?
Second shift nights.
What is nights?
6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And what were you wearing that day?
My uniform, my family uniform.
Were you displaying your badge of
wearing that
office?
day?
Were you operating a patrol car or a passenger in a patrol car?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on.
Did you happen to come into contact with anybody who's currently in the courtroom on that date?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was that?
He's
And can you tell me where he's sitting and something that he's wearing, please?
wearing a black suit. He's sitting at the table right behind you, right? He's right.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness identify the defendant.
That objection record shows so.
Sorry,
Where did
the
you come into contact with
cop
him?
is hard to hear.
On Michigan Ave, I can't remember the exact address, but it's right behind Buffer Reds.
Is that in the city of Ypsilanti, County of Washtenaw, State of Michigan? And when you got to that location, do you recall about what time it was? Nighttime or daytime?
It was early morning.
Early morning? When you got to that location, what did you observe?
It was two people by a car. One was sitting by the front passenger tire, and one was standing to his left over him.
Were either one of those people the defendant?
Yes.
Where was the defendant?
He was the person standing up next to the person that was sitting on the ground.
Who else was there when you were on scene?
Myself, Officer Smith, Sergeant Gibbs, and from Magoo, and Officer Chief, and there was his friend, I don't remember his friend's name.
Okay, sorry guys. I see there's a few people asking what's going on, what case this is. This is M. Daniel versus the state of Michigan. And basically he's pro se, he's representing himself. He kind of went sob sit for a little bit, trying to be a sovereign citizen. But he realized that wasn't going down. It's been a pretty big case in the law tube world. And basically he's been fighting this the entire way, but he's super rude to the judge and he's super rude to the process. And he thinks he knows what he's doing and he doesn't know anything. He tries to play word games and semantics. I gave a little introduction at the beginning of the video. And so basically we're just going to watch this train wreck as it happens. It's about an hour long and I'm just going to play it. And then Tommy has got something in store for you guys tonight too. So it might just be like a quick handoff, from this hearing to Tommy. He's feeling a little better, not 100%. I wouldn't even say he's feeling 80%, but, he's got some amazing updates on some Hollywood. He's going to do a big Hollywood update. So, yeah, it's not a good strategy being rude to the judge. That is for sure. So I'm going to get back to it so we don't run over into Tommy's live.
The person that was sitting by the passenger side of the tire was Mr. Magoo's friend?
Yes.
That's when you say his friend, that's who you're referring to? What happened when you got up to the area where Mr. Magoo and his friend were located?
We observed his friend sitting on the ground. We saw a case of open, I think it was seltzer waters and fireball on the ground. We walked over because we were dispatched to that area for a fight.
Said there was some alcohol on the ground.
We got other people involved in the fight did not fit them. But when we saw the gentleman sitting on the ground, kind of slumped over, we just stepped over because we were just trying to see if he was all right.
So you said fireball. Is that on something? Is that a brand name? Something? Alcohol. What happened next?
We were just trying to get a clear understanding of what was going on. Like I said, we witnessed a guy who was sitting on the ground, kind of slumped over. So I presume that he might have been under the influence of alcohol, seeing that we had the seltzer waters and the fireball there. But we were just trying to see if he needed any medical assistance.
Would it be fair to say that Sergeant Gibbs took the lead a little bit when approaching?
Definitely.
After Sergeant Gibbs approached the two men, what happened next?
Sergeant Gibbs gave Mr. Magoo a couple directives. He asked him to step away. I believe he asked him at least 2 or 3 times to just leave. To which Mr. Magoo did not. At that point, Sergeant Gibbs asked him to leave again. He did not. At that point, we went hands on for obstructing our ability to investigate what was going on with the gentleman sitting on the ground.
What happened after you went hands on?
We took Mr. Magoo kind of around to where the car was. We put handcuffs on him. We walked him over to Sergeant Gibbs' patrol vehicle. At that point, after we were going to put him in the vehicle, we had to search anybody that.
Let's see the body cam.
Before we could put him into the vehicle. So as we were doing I wasn't doing the search. Officer Smith was. I was just there to keep control of Mr. Magoo at that point.
In what way were you there to keep control of him? What were you doing?
I was holding him by his arm.
Where were you standing relative to where he was standing?
At first, while Officer Smith was searching him to the right, I was to the left of Mr. Magoo. After he finished searching him to the right, we switched positions. I went to the right side, Officer Smith to the left.
So Mr. Magoo is currently facing a vehicle and you're standing behind him to his right or to his left, depending on what side of him is being searched.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened while Officer Smith was searching the defendant?
Mr. Magoo made a couple other statements. I don't really know. I really don't remember what those were. I do remember he made a statement about dashing or scatting, which is kind of like implicating he might run at that point.
I think he's charged with resisting arrest and drunk in public, which he probably just would have got a warning, but he you'll see once he starts talking, you guys will see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen any of the other hearings.
Point, I put my arm through here and kind of held him up against the car.
Why did you do that?
Mentioned about running.
Why would putting his arm up and holding him against the car, why would you do that if somebody mentioned they might run? To keep him what?
To keep control.
To keep control. Okay, what happened next?
At that point, Officer Smith was searching the left side of him. He asked about, were you guys looking for a lottery ticket? He said, I didn't have anything in my pocket. At that point, Mr. Magoo, he kind of flinched a little bit one time. So I put my arm up a little bit more just to gain a little bit more control. And at that point, he kicked up with his right leg and caught me in the groin area.
His leg hit you in the groin area while you were standing behind him? And were you wearing a body worn camera on this night? Have you had a chance to review a copy of the recording from your body worn camera today?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it a fair and accurate depiction of the original recording and of what happened that night? Now I move to admit People's Exhibit 1, Darnell Tyson's body worn camera that has previously been disclosed to defendant in discovery. I'm going to be playing.
Any objection to its admission?
I object to we don't need to play the video. I would rather-
Whether we need to play it. What is your objection?
My objection is I would like to finish hearing the testimony before we play the series of events that Mr. Tyson has already had time to review with himself.
Would the court like a response?
Objection is overruled. You may go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And is the exhibit admitted?
Body cam.
Yes.
Body cam.
Thank you. And with the court's permission, I'd like to play from the beginning of the video to about the 4-minute and 10-second mark.
All right, that's fine.
Damn, I should have edited a close up on that. Let me see if I can.
Object. What is the relevance? Why are we playing it?
What do you mean? What's your objection? You're saying that what's contained on the video isn't relevant? Hold on, can you
I'm
pause?
sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
No,
It just started.
what is
sorry.
your,
What is the relevance for Officer Tyson's testimony of this video? What are we?
Well, this dude, see, that's how big of an ass wagon this dude is. Okay, bro, the relevance is it's the proof that you're a douchebag. If you want to concede and say, yeah, I'm an idiot, then yeah, you don't have to play the video. It's the evidence against you. Like, come on, man.
What?
he has to lay the foundation regarding the video, which they've done. I've admitted it. If your objection is as to relevance, clearly what occurred that day is absolutely relevant and central to its issue in this case. So your objection to relevance is overruled. Ms. Londy, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I just want to say I have not seen this yet. So I was buying my daughter a goose that had 3 little geese that followed it that we hated, and we're going to take it back tomorrow. Okay, so all right.
I'm sorry, what are we calling for? Please, what have you talked to me? Please, what are we calling for? So we're gonna call that, what are we calling for? Yeah, that's what I'm calling. Yeah, what's I'm telling you, I'm not things right now out here. Do you understand me? You think I'm drunk? Walk away. He is. Walk away. No, I'm telling you, no, sir. You got one opportunity. No, she has nothing back. I just told you. Walk away. Walk away. All you have to do is walk away. Sit. What's that? Say that no sense. Okay, that's fine. All you have to do is walk away. All right? This is illegal. You can't do this. You You understand that, right? Okay, you don't get it. Put him in the car. Stand up. All right, put him in the back seat. Come on.
You got anything close to single hearted? Do you? Do you? I'll ask you one more time.
What did you say?
You got anything close to single hearted? So yes or no? All right.
This is the first time this body cam footage has been played too. This hearing's been going on for a few months. Like he's had multiple hearings. He's been kicked out of courtroom. Yes, I agree, Elizabeth Fraser. I should have did a roll call, huh? My bad, I forgot.
What are you looking for? A lottery ticket? Chill out, dog.
Agreed.
Lottery ticket? How about an iPhone?
For both sides, for the defense and the prosecution.
Officer Tyson, at any time did you give the defendant permission to assault you? Did you at any time give the defendant permission to kick his leg back into your crotch?
Objection. I didn't see any physical harm.
I heard the testimony.
What was that?
What's your objection?
I object. We watched the video and you're trying to lay that there's evidence of harm. I've seen no harm. We watched it and not once was there.
What is your objection?
Huh? Perjury. That's my objection.
Perjury? Seriously?
Yeah.
Overruled. Go ahead.
You're trying to confirm that it happened based off the video and it.
Hold it. No, Mr. Magoo, here's how it works. You don't address the prosecutor at all.
Let's see how old everyone is in the chat right now. What movie is this from? I plead insanity, Your Honor. Insanity? That's right, insanity. I was just crazy about that girl. Okay, let's see who can remember that.
You address the court.
But she was the trier of the case, Your Honor. You're the trier of facts.
I don't know what you're talking about. What I have just instructed you is you will not address the prosecutor directly. Is there anything unclear about what I just said?
Yeah, fundamentally, I thought that you're the trier of the facts, Your Honor.
Is there anything unclear with what I have just said?
I'll try to understand what you're saying here. I'll try to avoid that.
Is there anything unclear about what I have just said? I'm going to give you one more shot to answer. I need an answer, Mr.
You're telling me I'm not.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. We're not to address the prosecutor. If you need to address the prosecutor, Commissioner Magoo, you can ask the court prior to your addressing, because I'm not going to have your behavior toward anybody in this courtroom. Understood?
I understand that.
Thank you. Ms. Lundy, anything further?
Ask the witness.
Cross-examination.
Hey, good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and badge number?
This is going to be great.
For my end.
Not.
Thompson, 39.
Yeah, thank you. What was your assignment on October 11th? Approximately 2:50 in the morning.
We're dispatched, like I said, to Michigan Ave area, running the fight.
And at that time, when you showed up to the, where did you, it was a parking lot? Public parking lot? Okay. At that time, did you ID anybody that was suspect to the dispatch that you were called to? No active fights? Do you remember the dispatch record, how they described the people? Was I an interference of any medical emergency? Was I in what was your reason for contact with me?
We got there, we saw a gentleman sitting on the ground. We saw alcoholic beverages that were open, and he was slumped over.
Okay, so alcohol, somebody's a gentleman slumped over, and then me. So what was your reason to engage with me?
You're white.
Reason for coming was not.
I'm just kidding. This guy
Okay.
isn't racist, not even a little bit.
Sure that the gentleman sitting on the ground was okay.
Okay, so it was just a courtesy stop?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
In your words, would you say it was a courtesy?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
What is the objection?
Asked and answered.
Asked and answered.
So you move forward, buddy.
Did you suspect the gentleman on the ground that was laying slouched over? Did you suspect him of any crime?
No, sir.
Did you suspect me of any crime? In that video, you heard Officer Gibbs, Sergeant Gibbs, I'm sorry. You heard him clarify that this was something different. Okay. Was it my legal obligation to leave?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for the ultimate conclusions to the question.
Sustained.
Ultimate conclusion. Can
It
you
would
cite
suck.
any legal authority
But it would suck
that
to
would
defend yourself.
permit a public citizen to leave a public place?
Objection as to form of the question.
Sustained.
As to what? What was it?
Form of your question.
In form of your question?
The form of your question. It's
Okay,
improper.
okay.
It's because you didn't go to law school, bud. What did you expect, man?
Under what law or ordinance was I required to leave?
Same objection as to the ultimate conclusion.
I'm trying to understand why the probable cause, Your Honor, as to why I was arrested. I, there's still no clarity. And that's what I'm trying to get at here today.
Well, not through that question. So I'll sustain the objection. You can give it another shot.
Can you define probable cause?
Objection to relevance.
Sustained.
Your Honor, the officer is in-field officer. They have to be able to understand what probable cause here.
In what context are you talking about?
Your Honor,
Your question is large and vague.
to define probable cause as an arresting officer.
Is it probable cause to arrest? Probable cause in terms of this proceeding? In what context do you wish to try to describe?
Probable cause to arrest me that night, or any reasonable articulated suspicion.
You may.
He should have just asked that.
Different thing.
He should have just asked that. Can you please articulate your suspicion that I was committing a crime that night? Perfect question. Would have worked. No objection. I'm sure he's watched plenty of these auditor videos. You know, these guys out there doing the audits that instigate issues with law enforcement and others and regular citizens to audit their First Amendment rights. I'm all down with the First Amendment. I'm not down with going to a library and making everyone feel uncomfortable. Okay.
So the defendant was originally asking about probable cause to arrest, and then he revised it and said he's asking specifically about the probable cause to arrest.
Yeah, what led you to
which is
arrest
not
me?
the question he asked, so my objection.
Perfect question. Thanks,
will
Chris.
Continue.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll allow him to attempt to rephrase.
He's just trying to be a pseudo intellectual.
I'm trying my hardest to word this properly, so please, in efforts to get clarity here, I'm trying to. I'm trying to figure out under what authority is there when you knew that I wasn't a suspect to any crime.
Authority to do what?
To arrest me.
See, he keeps changing it.
So maybe
Now
we
it's
get past
authority.
this.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
An officer can arrest for a crime they believe or suspect was committed in their presence. That would be one basis. Based upon what I saw in the video, there would be a basis for that arrest, if that helps you at all. So you can go on to your next question.
Okay. Did I physically interfere with you at all?
Yes.
At what point?
Sergeant Gaines asked you to walk away. We didn't ask you to leave, we just asked you to walk away.
You asked me to walk away. How far would have been a safe distance?
Objection.
Speculation.
Yes.
Sustained.
See, that would have been an okay question for him to ask. That would have been okay. I'm sorry if I keep stopping this and interrupting, guys. That would have been an okay question for him to ask if he would have just walked away a foot. But he didn't even attempt to walk away. So he could have said, if he'd have walked away a foot and he got arrested, then he could have said, what he just said, what would have been a distance that would have been okay with you. All right. Sorry, guys.
If I walked 5 feet away, would that have satisfied your order?
Absolutely.
Just asked you to walk away.
Yes or no? It would have satisfied your order? Okay. So until the time that I was arrested, what duties did I physically prevent you from doing?
We were to figure out what was going on with your friend. And because you were in it for like a week, walked up. We raised up. We weren't there. We were there for the gentleman sitting on the ground, appeared to be intoxicated. Based on the circumstances, we saw open alcohol and the fireball, which is alcohol, on the ground towards his feet.
So your duty was to safeguard my friend?
At that time, we were just trying to see if he needed any medical attention.
Are you a medical expert? Did I consent to your arrest?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Speculation. When Sergeant Smith began searching me, did I show you any signs of hesitation, or did I feel like I was threatened? Did I show you any signs?
Objection as to speculation of what the defendant thought. This witness can't answer what the defendant thought. The rest of the questions.
Did I do anything?
I'll overrule the objection. I'm answer it if you can.
Okay.
Did I do anything to make you feel like you were threatened after the arrest? So there was two vehicles, correct? Let me rephrase it. Sorry. There's two vehicles, right? The first vehicle is the one that the gentleman slouched over, correct?
Sorry.
Okay. You guys detained me up against that vehicle, right? Is that correct?
We weren't being detained. We were just moving you out of the way.
You were moving me out of the way with handcuffs?
We had handcuffs on you.
What was the point of moving me out of the way? Okay. So at which point in time did you decide that the handcuffs?
We have to get control of somebody's handcuffs.
Okay. So was I under arrest at this time? Just detained. Okay. During this time, did you guys ask for any permission to search me?
We don't have to ask for permission to search you. Should be detained or at that point. A squad car has to be searched. So how you go?
Man, I drink some
Do you
coffee.
know
and
under
I'm,
what
like,
grounds that
sweating.
is?
Yes,
Is that
that is
public?
absolute, what he
That's
just described
police
is the
department?
law.
Your Honor,
He has,
there's several.
Mr. Magoo, when an officer is detaining somebody, they have the right to do a pat-down search for any contraband or weapons or anything that might harm the officer or anyone around. That
Even if the
is
arrest is
the
unlawful?
law. That is the
I never
law.
consented to any of it.
Terry versus Ohio,
Doesn't
though.
matter.
And we still don't have a crime that I've
It
done.
doesn't matter.
We're still trying to figure out a
It
crime.
doesn't matter.
I missed the beginning of the question, so Terry might not apply.
What was the probable cause to arrest me on October 11th?
I would object as to timeline. I want to make sure it's very specific. What time?
I'll sustain that objection because I think it's vague. You can rephrase the question so you can be more specific.
Under which action made it deemed necessary to arrest me?
You weren't under arrest at that time. You were just being detained.
If you were to think about the night, the whole night, what exact moment defined what I did that was unlawful?
Sorry for you to ask you to step away. At that point, you were obstructing our ability to investigate what was going on with your friend.
And you didn't suspect him of a crime.
That wasn't that.
So what duties were you under at that time?
Because your friend appeared to be drunk, sir.
Is being drunk illegal?
It would be intoxicated in public like he was.
Did you charge him with a crime?
Objection, relevant.
Sustained.
Trying to find a
Sustained. I don't need your response after my ruling. Next question.
If he had a lawyer, he'd probably beat this. He'd probably beat it, even though I think the cop probably had probable cause and everything else. But a good lawyer could create doubt that there was probable cause and probably get it thrown out at the bench level without a jury trial. But I don't know.
You mentioned there was alcohol in the scene.
Yes.
Well, there's the probable cause right there. There was alcohol out in the open.
My friend was dispatched for high intox. Correct?
We weren't dispatched every day.
I'm sorry. When the Huron Valley ambulance was dispatched to the parking lot where they were dispatched for high intox
Yes.
for my friend.
Yes.
Second, I will, Your Honor, along with the same body cam, with Officer Tyson here. I also have another. At which point did I strike you?
What's the beyond?
Can it was what?
Within seconds of us putting you in the back of the patrol.
Okay. And I was put in the back of the patrol vehicle under, for what reason?
For assaulting the police officer.
Let me get this straight. So you first said that you were putting me in the back of the
That's
patrol
funny,
car,
dude.
which is why
My man. That's
when
my
the
man.
assault happened. But then you just said that I'm getting placed in the back of the vehicle because of the assault.
Object as to, this mischaracterizes the statements and evidence.
It does. It's also a compound question.
It is.
So
Looking for.
All right, I missed it, guys. I'm gonna rewind just like a minute.
Within seconds of us putting you in the back of the patrol.
Okay. And I was put in the back of the patrol vehicle under, for what reason?
For assaulting the police officer.
Let me get this straight. So you first said that you were putting me in the back of the patrol car, which is why when the assault happened, but then you just said that I'm getting placed in the back of the vehicle because of the assault.
Object as to, this mischaracterizes the statements and evidence.
it does. It's also a compound question.
It is.
So
Looking for clarity.
I don't care what you're looking for. You got to ask the questions right. Her objection is sustained.
Let's try.
I just need a drink of water, Your Honor. Just it's getting a little hot up here. Even the cops laughing.
Go play this video back.
Yes.
That's okay.
You have a
What was that?
That would be, I think that's.
Yeah, I have it. It's an adapter, yeah.
I don't know.
But
You can give it to him. Let's see what the heck it is.
at this moment in time, your Sergeant Smith is searching me.
Objection. No. That person's title is not Sergeant Smith.
This isn't Sergeant Smith.
No, it's not.
Who's this?
Oh,
Officer Smith. I'm sorry. Okay. Officer Smith here is searching me. At this point in time, is it your mission? Is it your goal to put me in the back of the patrol car?
yes, you're being detained.
Yes, Jamal.
I'm being detained.
This
in the
is where
patrol
the
car.
judge says, "What the?
Okay.
Really? What the f?" Probably, but we're a clean show here on the Lifeboat and Legal Live.
Let's get back forward. It's loud.
Yeah.
I can't even here, let me try here the other way.
That's your computer, dork.
There it is, I got you. Sorry guys. At this time, have I assaulted you?
This angle I cannot tell.
The injury, where were you hit? You were kicked in the groin? Was this when I was held up against the vehicle? Or when? Is that when?
Sorry, you asking me. Was I kicked while you were leaning up?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
No.
when you were forcing me up against the vehicle like this,
Yes.
you were, okay. Did you hear that just now? Did you ever hear me say that I know I wasn't going anywhere?
That's irrelevant.
I'm just asking if you heard it. Listen. Did you hear that?
I did.
Okay. There was something else I mentioned, a lottery ticket. There was. Did you guys find a lottery ticket on me or anything?
No.
Did you find anything illegal on me?
Yes, you are.
So have I kicked you at this time?
I can't tell for this time.
Okay. But this time your body cam's still on. I was just told that I'm under arrest. Did you hear that?
I did.
Okay. But it wasn't for hitting you or physically harming you in any way. Is that correct?
You asked me, did I know if you kicked me? I told you from the angle I'm looking at it, I cannot tell.
You can't tell if I kicked you, right? But you don't know from the incident. Was it on the way into the back of the vehicle? Like the back seat? Or like that's what I'm trying to pinpoint. So right now I'm still, the door just opened and I'm asking, what am I under arrest for? And we still don't have any like.
Is there a question? Sustained.
Is it your belief that have I struck you at this time?
Like I said, I can't tell from this angle that you showed me this video at.
Okay. Maybe now?
Yeah, I can answer that question based on that video.
Okay. Did you talk to anybody about your injuries?
Real quick, man, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and watching this with me tonight. Rather than make a video of it, I just wanted to watch it with everybody. We've been having fun watching it, stuff on the Morning Mayhem show every morning at 9, and it's just been fun. So I thought I would just share this with you guys tonight, because this is kind of a big case. I know it's kind of boring at times, but I just wanted to say thanks, guys.
You told him, okay. At what point did you tell him that? You turned around? Okay. So here we are at the, just about where the prosecutor left off at the 4-minute mark. Still, we have not seen any from this angle, right? There's other angles.
Objection, was that a question?
No, it wasn't a question.
It was not.
I'm not even paying attention to it's extraneous, so I understand.
So here we are, still, you have not said anything to Sergeant Gibbs, correct?
I mean, when the camera hit the ground, I couldn't hear what was going on at that point.
Okay.
So, did you get home the wife? Oh, I couldn't see that phone. Yes. What's your wife's name?
You around home, right? If your wife and you got a key to get in the house,
So you were planning on giving him a ride home?
yes, we're gonna give him a courtesy ride home.
So you did not suspect him of any crime. You were going to actually do him a gesture.
Relevance, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Clarifying.
Yes.
You do have a key to get in the house, can you show it to me?
Yes.
Can you show me the key?
Yeah, see, and that's not just a look, HVA, just high-end tops, because I don't, can't even. Right here. High-end tops. High-end tops. Oh, yes, he is. So, all we're gonna do, we'll charge him, one, interfering. So we charge all the means out, whatever, excuse me, interfering. Get him over there. Did he?
So real quick, and I'll cut it off right there. But at that time, it is your understanding that I'm only on arrest for, what was that? He said R&O?
Yes, resisting and obstruction.
Resisting and obstruction. Back to why I didn't walk away the 5 feet. Yep, thank you. Okay, so at this time, he's what would you call it? He's basically reciting the charges that he's what would you call that?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustained.
Okay. From my understanding, and I believe it is yours as well, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the point in time where you informed Sergeant Gibbs that you were injured?
I told him I was a kid.
Okay, you told him you were kicked. Let me back it up. So now this is the 7-minute mark, a good 5 minutes after my arrest.
He kicked me in the face, bro.
He kicked me.
Yeah, why do you think I got with him? I wasn't trying to do it.
Oh, I didn't
Have
know.
the hiccups and when
So,
you're done.
is it accurate to say that we can't define at which point you were kicked?
You know, I'm gonna, never mind. I'll just-
Is that true?
Based on the angle of the video from my body cam, I can't tell you exactly when it happened. I know it happened.
I
because
love
I
that.
was there.
You were there.
Yes.
Okay. Is that something is it a joke? Do you find it funny?
What are you asking? Find what?
It's being kicked in the groin. Funny?
What's the relevancy of that
Just a
question?
general question, Your Honor.
No. No, he's not gonna answer that. You're not answering that question.
Okay. I'm trying, when the ambulance showed up, did you report these injuries to them?
Your Honor, objective. The witness has said repeatedly that he was kicked. I don't think he's ever said he was injured.
We're here on an assault charge, Your Honor.
An injury is not
You
necessarily.
can be assaulted and not injured.
I know you do. I'm just making the record. Excuse me, Your Honor, I apologize.
No, it's okay. I got it. So what is your question?
Did you
Did you
report
receive
these?
medical attention for being kicked?
No, sir.
All right, very good. Go on, move on.
Did you at any point tell any medical professional?
Your Honor,
That would be medical attention.
No, not if.
Yes, it would be, because you would have to report it for it to happen.
Okay.
He's answered that question. Next question.
I just want to play this moment here. This is same camera.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, this appears to be in a medical.
What is this? What am I going to watch? Give me a
This-
proffer.
What is it? Give you what?
Tell me what I'm gonna see.
You're going to see Officer Tyson confess that he was joking about what he said
About what he said about what?
about me striking him.
Okay, that's it.
Let me drink it, man. It's the one at the bottom. Oh, 2191, that's his phone number. Yes, sir, that's just my way of not having a 734. What's up? Check with Floyd.
Wait, Your Honor, can we pause, please?
Pause it.
Your Honor, this is information not relevant to this defendant. This is a separate person's name and date of birth now that's being put out, is not relevant to this. He has privacy rights that I did not play any portion of the video revolving him specifically to respect his rights to not be a part of this. He doesn't have to be. So I'm objecting to the playing of this. If we can get to the point of whatever the defendant is trying to put before the court, I'd really appreciate it.
It's coming right.
He's
here.
legal doxing him.
Well,
And I would argue that Jacob Spaulding would be a key central figure since he's the reason I was detained in the first place.
yes, but that doesn't mean he's giving consent to have all of his stuff put out there. What are you? So where's the part about him joking?
He quite literally says it, Your Honor. And I have certified records that have been transcribed from a Michigan,
Certified by whom?
by a certified Michigan court transcriber, but nevertheless, he's.
Well, if you're
he's present.
saying you have something that says that, because I did not hear that. So if you say have something that says, no, do not play over me when I'm talking. Stop.
I'm sorry.
Cut him off. We're not doing it that way, Mr. Magoo. You're playing by this court's rules. Plain and simple.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo.
Your Honor.
No, you're not. You're trying to play by your own rules.
Oh.
And it's not gonna, do not shake your head at me, because it's not gonna happen. I'm letting you know that now. Now, if you're claiming you have some certified transcript, where is it? And has it been turned over to the people?
It'll be submitted after I have a digital copy of it.
Have you submitted it to the people before
I
today?
just got it. No, just got it. She Same videos I have.
I don't even know how you're gonna, I don't even know how that gets in, but I'm not even gonna worry about that at this point. Go
Did you
ahead.
hear what was said?
Continue with your questioning.
Did you hear the part where you said you were just joking?
No.
What did you say? You told the ambulance that you were kicked in the nuts?
Yes.
And then what?
She kicked him in the family jewels.
Laughing?
Hey, Lisa.
And
What movie is this from, guys? Lisa, he doesn't have his license, Lisa. He kicked him in the family jewels. Did you kick him in the family jewels? Yeah, man, he kicked me in the family jewels. I will make a legal live wire hoodie for everyone who guesses that movie. On my word. All right. I'm going to push play. Oh, man. Chris Kaiser is right there with it, with the answer. Well, I mean, now I guess everyone could say weird science. That's right. That's right. Oh, my cousin Vinny. No, wrong answer. It was weird science. Oh, I shouldn't have said he had the right answer. Then everyone could have put it up. Then I could have said that's the right answer. Damn. Well, I trust everyone's integrity here. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll get your stuff and I'll send you that hoodie. Man, that's good, man. That's an old movie. Listen, Lisa, he doesn't have his license, Lisa. And they're at the jazz club. All right. Sorry, guys. Great movie.
at that time, in between that point where you said you got kicked in the nuts and you started laughing, did you hear the part where you said,
Very well.
I'm just joking, haha, you got to deal with me for the rest of the night? Okay. I'll be wrapping up right here, Your Honor. I just want to clarify.
Wooza indeed. Super Wooza.
In your opinion,
Not anymore, though.
what
Agreed,
justified
Andrea.
the search and detainment of me that day?
Resisting and obstructing. He gave me directives to walk away. You did not.
To the gentleman that went away in the vehicle. Of obstruction. I was obstructing your medical evaluation. Because you at no point, you admitted that you had no point to plan on charging him with a crime. You guys were doing a great thing out there. You guys were helping him out. You guys were making sure.
Is there a question?
I'm trying to clarify.
No, is there a question?
Yeah. At what point do your medical evaluation supersedes my personal rights to public space?
I'm objecting.
Hey.
That's relevant to that form.
Yeah, the form of the question, and that calls for a legal conclusion. So I'm going to sustain the objection.
Is there any witnesses? Did you guys get any witnesses on the scene
To what?
to all these crimes that I'm charged with? Is there anybody else on the scene that you guys talked to that put me on any kind of crime?
I understand your question.
What crime do you think I'm guilty of?
Oh my gosh.
Sustained.
I don't speak legalese, Your Honor. I'm really trying over here.
Again, I don't need your satire. Just next question.
You said that you reviewed these tapes beforehand.
I'm supposed to take out all those empty spots.
Did you at all review that part of you speaking with the ambulance when they arrived? Did you at any time read me my Miranda rights? Before your arrest, you did not read me my Miranda rights.
I'm happy to read you the right. If I'm gonna ask you questions, I didn't question you about anything.
One more
Oh,
question, Your Honor.
Can you
dude.
redirect?
No, Your Honor, this was speaks.
Yeah, all right, your excuse, sir. Thank you.
Wow, you guys, I am totally that this is the right hearing, but I'm not playing the video where I took out all the empty spots. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna keep playing this. That's crazy. I was
How many
like,
more witnesses do you
why
have,
are
Miss
those
Lyman?
dead air
One.
spots in there?
Okay, I'm gonna take about a 10-minute break because I'm gonna need it, and then you can call your next witness. Court's gonna stand in recess.
All rise.
I would have realized it right then that that would have been all bad. Let me get the video. Dude, that's crazy. And I was wondering why there was so much video left. Let me just grab it real quick. Sorry, guys. Here it is. I was like, what the hell, man? What is going on?
14A District Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan.
See,
is
look,
back in
it's taking
session.
out
The
all
Honorable Judge.
I'm just going to fast forward to where we were. This is going to be so much better. And Tommy's got a live stream in 20 minutes, so we're going to have to end it there, but we're going to okay.
And having the ambulance come and assist their.
Let's get a little bit of what this officer is saying. I promise it's going to be way more succinct
State
than
your first and last name for the record, please.
First name is Lawrence, LAWRENC, last name is Smith, SMIT.
see your boy's an idiot.
Be inquire.
Is it on?
It's your witness.
How you doing, Officer Smith?
Watch how different this is going to
lay a
be.
foundation with since we all know where we're at on the night. Where were you in the October 11th, 2:50 in the morning, and what?
That's why I kept looking over. Did you guys see me going like this? I was looking at my editing computer to see if there was any long pauses like that because I have the settings for the AI editor to take out anything that's over a second of no voices to automatically cut it out and compress. Anyway.
You two there.
Objection, counsel.
Sustained.
We've already been done
Ask
with it.
your question.
What led you to a
Sorry,
parking lot
guys.
in Ypsilanti on October 11, 2024 at 2:50 in the morning, approximately?
We were dismissed to a
Fight in progress.
yes.
Did you get a description of the people in the fight? What was the description? Do you remember? You were just looking for 2 people, or how many people? Don't recall. Okay. Do you recall the ethnicity of the people that were called? Were they the dispatch? Who was the dispatched over the fight? I believe they gave some descriptive words in the police report. And do you recall what the do you recall any descriptive word that would characterize the people that you were looking for on October 11th? What led you to approach me?
He said no.
Seeing an individual sitting, I would be slumped over and looking non-responsive at the point, and seeing alcoholic beverages around the individual, so we assumed that it was high intox. So at that point, it's our job and duty to.
They see a guy slumped over with a bunch of alcohol beverages around him.
The ambulance come and assess their medical needs at that point.
Okay. You assessed that another individual was highly intoxicated?
Yes, due to our observations and our.
Is that a crime? Highly intoxicated?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevant.
Sustained.
Which part of
Yeah, that's a crime.
assuming somebody was highly intoxicated warrants your
Not assuming.
interjection?
Can you ask your question again, just for clarification?
Are you trained on high
Oh,
intox? On recognizing drunk drivers or something?
I've been in the police for less than a year, and I've observed multiple people that have been high intox, and then also by the direction of my sergeant, who's also been doing this for 4 years plus. I believe that we can observe.
Not very long, really.
So that.
Okay.
He said
He
a
was
year.
definitely highly intoxicated. You would guarantee. Right.
Objection, Your Honor. That misstates the testimony of it.
You can keep trying.
Okay.
The form of your questions are a problem.
Okay. At what point did you and I engage physically?
When you didn't follow the directives of my sergeant, who was let you leave the scene as we rendered to your front and assess what he had.
Did he cite any legal authority to make me leave the scene?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Relevant. And
Snarky
I'm trying to
Marky.
understand the amount. Do you know? Okay. Never mind. How long were you on the scene approximately until I was arrested?
Look at
Okay. Under 5 minutes?
the call at the moment, to look at my report, to first one.
Okay. Did you or your sergeant establish or discuss any probable cause to arrest me?
Sergeant gave us a directive to put you in the back of the patrol vehicle due to you obstructing our investigation. We were trying to assist your friend in getting medical attention. At that point, you were resisting. You put your hands onto the car, not the patrol vehicle, the car, and you clamped your
Okay.
palms together.
So, but hold up a second.
No, you cannot stop him. You ask the question, he's gonna get to answer it. So you don't stop him. Go ahead.
May I finish, sir?
Go ahead. Yes, you may.
So at that point, you were resisting. So then we got the direct proximity to detain you. And after you saw my partner, Sergeant gave us another directive to place you in the back of the patrol vehicle for assault on a police officer. So I had multiple encounters with you putting your hands on. Yes.
Okay. Backing up to the point of which I was thrown up against the vehicle. You're saying that the crime or the violation that I was in was not stepping away. Is that correct?
You were obstructing the investigation.
Is obstruction, is that a physical act?
Sergeant objects to legal conclusion.
Sustained.
Is obstruction of justice, is that a verbal or a
He
physical?
does think that.
Sir, what are you asking? Because it seems to me that you seem to be asking this officer for a legal conclusion, and
Okay.
I'm not gonna have him answer the question
Okay.
until you can clarify what your question is.
In your opinion, is it your opinion that I obstructed physically?
I'm going to object this to the form of the question. It's the time Because it's not clear to me. what
Sustained.
time.
I'll sustain it. You need to clarify your question as to at what point.
Yeah, at the point of which Officer Gibbs or Sergeant Gibbs and yourself pushed me against the vehicle to arrest me, to detain. Okay. At that time, was my was my detainment because of verbal or physical obstruction?
Sergeant asked you to place your hands behind your back. You did not do so. So we assisted you by placing your hands behind your back. You did not do so when you was placed against the vehicle.
So could you label where my obstruction was?
Your objection, asked and answered. I think he's been extremely clear about the different ways in which the defendant obstructed the investigation.
What investigation is what I'm trying to get? We still don't have a corpus delicti, Your Honor.
Oh, I think we do, but that's okay. You think different. I'll sustain the objection. You can try again, rephrase your question.
Under what investigation were you under?
It was high intox.
Assisting high intox. Okay. Is that a normal police duty? Okay. Under those situations, is there ever a charge that would complement this?
What?
Complement the assisting the high intox.
Okay, let's try to get this clear. You were there rendering medical assistance, potential medical assistance to the individual that was sitting on the ground,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Part of a police officer's duties, if they see someone that is in distress or in need of medical attention, would be to render aid. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you were doing that evening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we can move on.
Okay. What do you think my role was?
Your role in one, can you clarify for me, sir?
So you have one really intoxicated friend and then one that's trying to talk to you. At which point or which role do you think I would be under when this investigation is going down?
I don't even know what that means. What do you mean role?
Your Honor, the officers showed up on the scene.
Yes.
There was no call for them to be there for me or my buddy. Okay. They showed up and they made themselves a part of our taxi ride home. And I got a charge for it.
No. Here's what happened. As I says, I can best determine. They're dispatched regarding a fight. They come across something else. It was somebody that may look like they need medical attention. As this officers testified, that's part of their obligation to render aid when it looks as though it's necessary. They were attempting to try to do so. Your intervention or role began to take place when you failed to follow the instruction of Sergeant Gibbs. That's what I have so far.
And that's
So
the
now
corpus
you may go
delicti.
on.
So did you guys hear him say, I still don't think you have corpus delicti? And the judge laughed and he said, no, I think we do. So corpus delicti is a Latin legal term meaning the body of the crime. It refers to the principle that the crime must be proven to have occurred before a person can be convicted of committing that crime. Essentially, a crime actually occurred. There must be clear evidence that an offense took place. The crime was committed by someone. It must be proven that the act was not accidental or naturally occurring. He thinks that hasn't been proven yet. The judge thinks, well, no, I think that's already been established, but he's going to let him continue. I don't know why. I think because he has to let him present his case against there being probable cause. Okay.
Next question.
Did you write your police report for that night? You did? You do that manually, or I'm sorry, on a computer, or do you handwrite them? Did you happen to write anybody else's? The report? No. Okay. Have you read the report recently? Have you read all of them?
I get it,
Do you find any
Jamama.
similarities between them?
This isn't
Relevance.
Good response
super
to
great
that?
content, but
Relevance.
I'm enjoying watching this guy
I'm
flounder.
trying to figure out where by relevance. The relevance, they're all identical reports, pretty relevant. They were copied and pasted.
Maybe because they were all there.
And they all said exactly the same thing, verbatim.
Okay. So this officer didn't write anybody else's reports. He just testified to that.
Okay.
So what's your next question to this officer?
Okay. On your report, recall any notaries of the presence of alcohol?
Oh, I need to look my report to 20.
Okay. Do you recall reporting any alcohol? Okay. Would you agree that alcohol was a significant contribution to the reason why me and you met?
I'm gonna object to speculation here.
Sustained.
Okay, we have my friend that
Awesome, me
was
too.
called for high intox, correct?
No.
Your mama. Oh,
Fight in
that's right.
progress.
I said your
You
mama.
showed up on the scene.
You guys remember that
And
song?
you notice someone's highly intoxicated. That wasn't a part of the fight that you were dispatched for, correct?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Who dispatched Huron Valley Ambulance? Officer Tyson did? Okay. What was the dispatch for? Okay. Seeing how that was, you agreed that that was part of your investigative duties to assist in my buddy's intoxication.
Well, I defer that question.
I know that. Okay.
So rephrase.
Let me rephrase. Would you agree that the reason that you and I met was because of alcohol?
Objection. Ask an
Sustained.
What was the
Rephrase.
objection?
You heard the objection.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
It was actually asked and answered, but it should have been relevance.
Yes, it could actually apply to both.
It does.
So,
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Is that what you said?
yes, rather clearly.
Tommy's
It's
getting
not
ready
the
to
fourth
come
or
on.
fifth
I'm
time.
gonna just fast forward to the judge's decision. I think this is it.
The court found probable cause for an added count for resisting, obstructing, opposing, or endangering which officers? All three?
Yes, all three officers. So count one is referenced Officer Tyson. Count two is referencing Sergeant Gibbs. Count three is referencing Officer Smith with regard to taking the defendant into custody. He's resisting of the handcuffing, as well as, quite frankly, his resisting of during the pat down, the refusal to acknowledge or respond to the officer's questions can constitute obstruction. So he is bound over on those three charges. Do you understand that, Mr. Magoo?
Still argue the probable cause, but I'll let the paperwork.
So funny he gets to say Mr. Magoo.
Pardon? What do you say?
Mr.
Magoo. Do you wish to have the information presented to you and then arraigned on that information?
No.
All right, so you're waiving presentation and reading of that information? All right. Defendant having waived presentation and reading of the information. And sir, what plea are you entering to those three counts?
I'm innocent. Your Honor.
Guilty.
Here are your choices. You can plead not guilty, you can plead guilty, or you can stand mute, say nothing, and the court will enter a not guilty plea for you. Of those three options, how would you like to plead to the?
They look like the same.
What option do you guys think that this jackwagon is going to do? Do you think he's going to say guilty, not guilty, and I don't know yet either, or stand mute? I'm going to say he's going to stand mute. Yeah, you know, the Munchkin knows. She says stand mute. Let's see what he says. This is going to be good. I'm going to wait for everyone to kind of give their answer first. He might say not guilty just so he can just say it out loud. I'm not guilty. But there's a part of me that thinks he's going to say stand mute.
Because
It's a funnier word. She's Hazley said how she knows that she says it's a funnier word. That's like liking a football team because of the color of their jerseys. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play it. It's about 50-50 people. Everyone's saying hi, honey.
Yay.
Say hi.
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 Hi, baby.
Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Okay, here we go. We're going to find out what he says. Stop. It tickles.
Because I'm tickling you.
I know. Don't. Okay, here we go.
Free charge.
Stand mute.
And then having waived formal reading, standing
He's
mute to all
standing
three counts, the court will
mute.
enter a not guilty plea.
Nobody-
to all three counts.
Nobody
Pretrial
wants a
in this
hoodie.
matter will be
I didn't offer any
set
hoodies.
At 1:30 p.m.
Up in-
for Judge Smith.
for April 3rd, 2025, 1:30 for Judge Slay.
Stop.
May I have
Hold on,
until
I gotta
noon
end
tomorrow
it,
to
okay?
submit a signed
I love you,
amended
honey.
information?
No.
Yes, we'll hold the file
Thank
If you sign, if you do that, that way the whole file can go up.
My goal will be by noon tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Previously, the defendant has accepted email service of motions, but the court be so kind as to make inquiries and he'll accept email service of the signed.
Sir, there'll be an information which is very similar to the complaint in this case. It will be signed off by the prosecutor based upon the court's rule. What
He
the
said stand
prosecutor is
mute,
asking
so-
is, will you receive
Yeah, I approve.
an email and take that
Yeah.
as service of your copy of the
Yeah.
information?
Yeah, we, yes, Your Honor.
That's
All right.
exactly right.
Great. On will continue. Thank you. All right.
All right, guys, get
All
ready
right.
for Tommy.
Hey,
Tommy's
Mr. Kennedy,
about
I
to
did have
come on.
something that I did need to address.
Thanks
with
for
you.
coming out, watching this video with me. I'll keep you guys updated on what happens at his next hearing, and we'll all watch it together again. You guys have an amazing evening, and let's watch Tommy. I'm sure he's going to be killing it. Hopefully, he's feeling a little bit better so he can, present it the way Tommy always does, with vigor, excitement, and comedic
I'm choking him.
presentation. I couldn't breathe for a second. She was choking me. All right.
Choking monster.
That's choke monster. All right, guys. You guys have a good night, and I love you guys. I'll see you in the morning. Don't forget, Morning Mayhem starts at 9 o'clock. I will see you then. Have a good night.